All right. Hello, I'm Jerry Jacobs Jr., and welcome to the Save My Catholic Marriage Minute, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court. The Save My Catholic Marriage Minute is for you if your wife has asked for divorce or separation. Your wife has left the home or you are separated. Your wife is in the home, but you are in separate bedrooms. Your marriage is just plain boring or has no passion. You engage in the marital embrace less than weekly or severely less than once a month. You are divorced but didn't want it, or you are determined not to have your marriage end up like any of the above situations. Now, if you fit in one of these categories and want to know how to fix it, follow these 3 steps. Listen to the Catholic Marriage Minute, Save My Catholic Marriage Minute right now. Boom. Number 2, after listening, visit www.savemycatholicmarriage.com. That's www.savemycatholicmarriage.com. Step 3, sign up to watch the Marriage Masterclass to learn how to repair your marriage. Sign up, watch it, fix it. Boom. So let's do this. All right, fellas. So what are the behaviors of a troubled wife? Moreover, what are the clues she shows you when she is unhappy or planning to leave? You got to know. In essence, what are the clues your wife wants a divorce? Or better, what happens and how do you fix it when it does happen? I'm going to go over each of 30 clues one by one in a series of 30 episodes, which I call Hell on Earth, the behaviors of a troubled wife. In this series, I'll give you the benefit of my over 35 years of experience in marriage. I've been married twice. My first wife died of leukemia, and we were on the verge of divorce at the time. And in my current marriage, I began seeing the same old issues creep up that caused the chaos in my first marriage. So I had to do something. And that something was I put together a step-by-step system to help men stay out of divorce court. Because I know for a fact from experience that no one teaches us how to build a great, loving, passionate, and exciting marriage over decades and decades and decades. That was 30 years. If you didn't count right. Hey, you can keep your head in the sand and ignore these clues of a troubled wife if you want to, which is what most men do, because we don't get it together until they leave or they take the kids and move to another state or they file for divorce. Then some of us still don't get it. Then she gets the divorce. All of a sudden now it's all her fault. But we don't never want to ask ourselves, what made a woman who loved me just 10 years ago more than anything on this earth, anyone on this earth, all of a sudden she can't stand me? I'll let that linger in the air. So, like I said, you can keep your head in the sand and ignore these clues of a troubled wife if you want. But I guarantee, not promise, you will be getting a lawyer and dividing up your assets eventually. If you have even one of these clues, you should begin to perk up and nip this in the bud. Don't be like a lot of dudes, like I just was saying earlier. Let it just go and go and go. I'll take care of it later. And you know as well as I do, later never comes. Okay? And if you have 2 or more of these clues, you are already behind and better get on your job as a man and a husband, because you better believe she has begun what I call the women's exit strategy, where she has begun planning how to exit your marriage. Believe me, if you don't wake up, she will wake you up real quick by taking you on a journey through divorce court hell. So, before we review clue number 9, let's go over the ones we've covered so far. And so here we go. Number 1 was, does she seem distant? Number 2, is she spending more time with single friends? Number 3, does she seem uninterested in the marital embrace? Number 4, is she still as supportive as she used to be? Number 5, is she still as loving as she used to be? Number 6, does she go out to clubs and events without you? Number 7, does she take longer to answer your phone or text messages? Number 8, does she try and control you? Ha! So that's the first 8. Now here is number 9. Drum roll, please. Has her conversations with you become very short and to the point? This one is for all the rookies out there. You got to understand that conversation builds intimacy and closeness for women. And for women, that means everything. That means they don't want to, without those things, they don't want to have sex with you. Without those things, they don't want to be around you. Without those things, you're just another dude off the street. And when your wife has decided she isn't speaking to you as much, this means you have become indifferent to her, that her pain is deep and she's protecting herself from you by suddenly letting you know that something's wrong. And so what do I mean by protecting herself from you? What it is your woman has a lot of deep pain and inhibitions in her. And with women, that is a lot of pain that they have to get out. And if you or her husband don't know how to do it, you're gonna have a lot of baggage. She's gonna bring a lot of baggage in your marriage. And so when I mean she's trying to protect herself is when she leaves or starts to think about leaving, she's trying to decide if the pain of being with you is less than the pain of being without you. And so and basically what I mean is you've heard her over the years of neglect, of not showing her you care, not being the man she needs, and a lot of times men get mad. Well, why didn't she tell me? She did tell you. She told you 1,000 times. But you think a woman's going to tell you, you're making me unhappy. You're making me unfulfilled. Our sex is terrible. You don't talk to me. You don't blah, blah, blah. You think she's going to say that? Women don't do that. They talk in code, dude. They talk in code. She gives you 1,000 clues over all those, 10 years. That's how long you've been married. She gives you these clues, and if you aren't aware and don't start taking things seriously, she gets really hurt and depressed. So what she does is she basically leaves or moves to another room or gets another man to get you to man up. And then when I mean protect her, so if she wants to come back, if she starts to think about, do I want to come back? Because once she leaves, what are you going to do? You're going to run up to her, oh, baby, please come back. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. You're going to start doing all this stuff for her. And she's going to be like, no, get away from me. I done tried my best. You're just trying to manipulate me right now. I don't trust you. I don't believe anything you say. And so what'll happen is she is trying to protect herself from getting hurt from you again. And so if you don't understand that, you will be in deep, deep trouble. So, but most husbands will ignore this for a lot longer than they should and allow it to get worse. The problem is most people think, well, I'll just ignore it. It'll get better. She'll get over it and all that. But she don't get over it. The problem is by the time that the men that you as a husband do realize it, many times it is far, far too late. This neglect comes from, I sense something is not quite right, but I'll talk to her and make it right later. Guess what? The problem is later never comes. Bam! So again, follow these 3 steps to fix your marriage now, not later. Step 1, determine if you are in one of the following situations. Your wife has asked for a divorce or separation. Your wife has left the home, or you are separated. Your wife is in the home, but you are in separate bedrooms. Your marriage is just plain boring and or has no passion. You engage in the marital embrace less than weekly or severe, less than once a month. You are divorced but didn't want it, or you have determined that you do not want your marriage to end up like in any of those situations I just mentioned. Step 2, if you do fit into one of these categories, then visit www.savemycatholicmarriage.com. That's www.savemycatholicmarriage.com and sign up, step 3, for the Marriage Masterclass to learn how to repair your marriage today. And so, in conclusion, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI. Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. So, go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is upon you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle.